Hi, my name is Zach. I'm a senior at Blake High School, and I'll be going to UCF in the fall. I've been coming to this church for my entire life. I got baptized right in this room. My mom brought me here every Sunday and then took me off to Sunday school. I grew up here. I just remember the connection services, VBS, and the upward sports, which I was always so horrible at. In 6th grade, I stepped into youth group for the first time. I went to youth group all throughout middle school, even through the pandemic where we had to switch to weekly Zoom calls. Things were mostly back to normal when freshman year of high school rolled around. Masks were on, but we were back in the gym and back in the youth room. It was good to be back, but I always felt like I wasn't making connections and growing friendships like everyone else does. I just felt behind. I couldn't talk about freshman year, though, without talking about Taylor Caloris. I wasn't as close with Taylor as a lot of people were. I don't know if I could even call us friends. But I remember one time when I was walking to a Talking Points meeting when she saw me and called behind, "Hi, Zach." I remember feeling cared for and connected by someone that I had no idea knew my name. That's just who she was. She always had a lovely thing to say about everyone and always let people feel seen. Even now, I still feel the beautiful mark that she left on everyone she talked to. She was a person filled with love and kindness, and I think we should work to feel her energy every day. For the next year, I still struggled to find my place in this youth program. It wasn't until the summer after my sophomore year where I truly felt something change. The Spokane mission trip was not only the best week of my life, but the most important. This week shaped me into the person that I am today, and I would give anything to go back. From the moment we stepped off the plane into the small airport of Spokane, Washington, and Kenny told us that this week our one and only goal was to show up in love. Love, whether it was the kids we were caring for at our VBS or the people we were serving in the soup kitchen. Me and the other rowdy soldiers worked for hours for so many beautiful projects and services, but it never felt like work. We were always together, talking, joking, and of course, playing Mao. I think everyone could learn so much from this trip. Love is the most important thing. It heals us all and it helps us all. It connects us in a way that I don't think I could ever understand. After the Spokane trip, I was all in on youth group. The second I got home, I decided I was going to be a middle school leader. Every Wednesday, I started to get to the fellowship hall at 5 for Wednesday night dinner, go upstairs, and set up for middle school youth group. At 7:30, middle school would end, and I'd get ready for high school, and I'd leave church at 8:45. I went from going to church for an hour every couple weeks to being there almost 4 hours every single Wednesday. And I loved every second of it. It was a routine for me that brought me a good sense of joy in a time where I really needed it. Coming out as gay is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It's something that's taken me so much time to accept about myself, and it took me just as long to work up the courage to tell anyone. But the people at this church have never made me feel small or wrong for the way I am. The fellowship at this church has become one of the most important things in my life, and it will be almost impossible to say goodbye. So I want to say thank you to everyone in this room who's never made me feel different. Sorry. I want to thank Kenny Hubble for being a constant light and for making me feel like I have someone that wants to listen. Thank you to Jody and Kate for always making me laugh, especially when I needed it. You have no idea how many times I did. Thank you to all the middle school kids who I see every week, particularly the boys in my small group whose chaotic energy makes me die laughing even when I try to act serious. And finally, thank you to all the people who I see at youth group every week. Kate, both Andrews, Ellie, Rowan, Claire, and Ian. You're all so important to me, and the friendship and fellowship that I have felt for the past 7 years is something I will never be able to forget. I'm so excited for what God has planned for me, but a little piece of me wishes I could walk into the youth room and stay forever, because this is my place, and I'll miss it more than anything. Love, your Mao Chairman. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sid Hendry. I'm a 12th grader graduating from HB Plant High School who plans to attend HCC Community College and then USF after 2 years. I have practically grown up at PCPC, starting with being baptized as a baby to attending preschool as a little kid, from tie-dyeing shirts at Vacation Bible School to retelling Bible stories at music camp, from my first year in middle school youth group to my last year in high school youth group. After middle school, I was so excited to join the youth group and start middle school. However, the summer before 6th grade, I was unexpectedly diagnosed with epilepsy. I was scared and unsure how this would affect the years ahead. I was started having seizures randomly and sometimes even at school. It made me feel different than my peers and kind of like an outcast. I didn't like what was going on at school, feeling like no one understood or cared. In sixth grade youth group, I was a little shy and afraid to meet new people, but I always felt welcome. At school, everyone knew me as a kid who had seizures, but at PCPC, I was just Sid. I played basketball and blob tag along with other boys and got to talk with some of my first faith topics in my small groups. Some of my favorite memories from 6th to 8th grade include Halloween costume contest, holiday events, and just hanging out with my boys. As I entered freshman year, I was ready to start attending high school youth group and continue the same fun from middle school. But I ended up finding more meaning. In high school, there were a lot of great memories, but my favorite was definitely small group talk because you got to express your feelings and talk about how God is with you in different parts in life. In small groups, we began to talk about deeper topics, and I began to share on a more personal level. I definitely liked when the leaders and other boys in the group shared their own experience because it made me feel more connected. High school youth group also had off-campus activities like PDQ, Dairy Joy, pool parties, movie nights, and more. They all gave me a chance to socialize with people I didn't go to school with and get to know friends a lot with the same beliefs. I want to thank everyone here who has helped me on my faith journey. First, to Kate Donaldson. You have been my bestie since I can remember. I will always remember our moments. Hashtag the power times 2. Second, to Kenny. If it wasn't for you, I would never have learned as much about the Bible or gotten confirmed into this church. Thank you for being a great role model. Third, to my mom and dad, for everything that you do. You have always encouraged me and supported me through tough times. You guys have always told me to pray to God in every situation. Lastly, my sister Sarah. When you first convinced me to go to youth group, I was very hesitant, but you gave me the encouragement and have always supported me on my spiritual journey and think about Christianity in different ways. You are the best sister a brother could ask for. I can't wait to see what comes next for me, but I know that I will always cherish the memories I had here in this church building. Thank you to all at PCPC.
It's going to be hard to follow those. Good morning. My name is Evan Yaki, and next year I'll be going to St. Leo University to play college soccer and study biochemistry. Ever since I moved to Tampa when I was 5 from Louisiana, PCPC has been an immensely great part of my life. I can vividly remember going to literally every summer camp this church has to offer. I was a frequent attendee of VBS, and I had the time of my life. Arts and crafts, tie-dyeing shirts, and catchy worship songs would put me in the best mood ever. Likewise, music camp was another highlight of the summer. I enjoyed messing around during practice, making Miss Nancy mad at Malachi and I for 2 hours, and then throwing myself violently down the water slide for the best hour of my life. These summer camps were only just the beginning of a life full of involvement in the church, and I had no idea that it could get any better. As I got older, I was eligible to be a part of the youth program here. Wednesday night youth group was an option for me, yet I never was able to go because of the great number of soccer practices I had. However, I was now at the age at which I could be on the flip side of all those summer camps. Now as a volunteer/counselor, even throughout high school, I was able to see the joy of all the kids running around and having fun, realizing that that was me back in the day. My first real experience of the true community and care of this church came during my very first Georgia trip. Some of you may not know, but the Georgia trip is one of the best summer trips you could ever take with this church, and possibly the best in general. Anyway, 2 days into the trip, I received a call that nobody wants. My grandfather had died of a heart attack while he was with my grandma, aunt, and uncle on vacation in Colorado. My very first reaction was to throw my phone across the room and start bawling my eyes out. Eventually, I settled down, and Rowan, Kate, and Lily DeFranco aided in cheering me up. Rowan, in typical dramatical fashion, proceeded to perform slam poetry and a multitude of Justin Bieber songs to help cheer me up. From that moment on, I realized that the people in this church are willing to go above and beyond to help anyone in need. All three of them could have just carried on with their days and continued to make s'mores, which is what was going on at the time. Yet they didn't, and now I've cultivated a friendship that will hopefully last a lifetime. I've even acquired some nicknames from Rowan, two main ones being Yawky Talkie or Yawkers. There are so many more memories of Georgia and even the Spokane mission trip that I could share, like Malachi's contagious laughter at the Inside Out 2 drive-in movie, me falling off a roof playing Manhunt in Spokane, late night South Park in the guys' cabin in Georgia, and morning runs, yet I'd run out of time. So I want to conclude with this. Palma Ceia Presbyterian, to be cliche, has been my second home for 13 years. It has taught me the value of friendship and service. There is nothing that should come in between helping friends whenever and serving the Lord. The true meaning of the word community is perfectly evident and exemplified here. There will be some random elder walking through the breezeway. They'll stop me and say, "Hey, Evan, I recognize you from when you were younger. My name is so-and-so." All I can do is smile and feign that I have a slight clue of who they are. Even the weirdest of interactions show that people are friendly, they want to know others, and they still want to keep in touch. PCPC has also taught me to be strong in my faith, as I will need it most when times are rough. It has also made me realize that there is always a community of loving people who will welcome me at any time I want to come back. It has taught me the value of service, that there is good in doing things for others, especially when doing it in the name of the Lord. Again, I could go on for literally hours about my favorite memories here at this wonderful church. I just want to say that I'll miss saying hi to Miss Susan at the dessert table at Wednesday night dinner and then heading up to youth group. I'll miss going up to youth group and saying hi to Kenny, who greets me with the usual, "Are you tired?" and my usual unemphatic reply of, "Yeah." I'll also miss one of my favorite things about Kenny, that being he lets me call him Dad. I guess because we look alike. I'll miss volunteering for music camp and throwing campers down the slide, as well as messing around with Malachi and Braylon. I'll especially miss the summer trips and the late-night deep convo talks that occurred in Spokane. It's clear that PCPC has had a colossal impact on my life, especially my high school career. I just want to thank everyone for an amazing 13 years of camps, service, worship, and memories. Even if I don't know your name, you're still part of a community that has put a stamp on my heart forever. This doesn't mean that I'm going to go off to college and disappear. It means that I'll take this place with me everywhere I go, and I'll cherish the memories and people forever. Thank you so much, Palma Ceia, for everything, and I hope I've been able to make an impact as much as an impact of y'all have made on me. And finally, thank you to my mom and dad for allowing me to come to this place, and thank you, Kenny and Kate, for wonderful years. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Claire Barrow. I'm a senior at Berkeley Preparatory School, and I'm going to New York University Tisch School of the Arts to study theater. I'm so excited for the chance to speak today on Youth Sunday, a day that has had a special place in my heart. In fact, 17 years ago, I was baptized by Pastor John, right over there, on Youth Sunday. So to be here speaking with all of you today feels surreal. This church has truly been a part of my life from the very beginning. I went to preschool here, and growing up, Palma Ceia was always a place filled with warmth and love. But it wasn't until after my confirmation class freshman year that I really began to step into the life of this church in a meaningful way. At the time, I was going through an extremely difficult season of my life. I felt lost, unsure of who I was or where I belong. I'd lost faith in a lot of things. I struggled with a lot of relationships, and I felt further away from God more than anything. On the first day of confirmation, I walked into the youth room not knowing a single soul. Even though I had been a member of PCPC since birth, it felt like I was walking into a completely new place. I remember seeing a group of kids in the corner who looked so comfortable with each other. They had known each other for years, and honestly, I was a little intimidated. I secretly hoped I could be a part of something like that, but I didn't know how to get there. But then something shifted. The very next week, those same people in the corner, Rowan, Zach, Andrew, and Evan, came over and introduced themselves to me. That small act of kindness changed everything. I started looking forward to confirmation each week, not just for the lessons, but because I had found new friends who saw me and welcomed me. It's because of them I began coming to youth group on Wednesdays, and I found a space that felt like home. They didn't know this at the time, but introducing themselves is exactly what I needed, and it started to pull me out of my hardship and closer to God. Through youth group, I've experienced what it means to be truly in a close-knit, loving community. I've been so lucky to be able to foster these relationships outside of church, seeing Zach in the theater world, and Rowan bringing me into her friend group and becoming one of my best friends. And seeing it impact my little brother in the same way with his youth group friends has been so special. I truly believe that God brought us together through this church. As I became more involved, my relationship with God deepened in ways I never expected. I used to think faith had to look or feel a certain way, formal, serious, maybe even a little distant. But through Kenny's weekly messages in combination with Pastor John's sermons at the traditional services, I learned that faith can be simple, genuine, and present in everyday moments. I felt God in the late night Wednesday talks, ice cream runs after youth group, in the quiet of prayer, and in the shared laughter during car rides home and inside jokes. One of the most important things I've learned about my faith is that it's not just about belief and worship. It's about action. I've come to know God most clearly through service and relationships, whether it's helping with service projects, serving communion with my family, showing up for my friends at games or plays, or just being present when someone needs a hug or a conversation. I see God most clearly when I try to reflect his love outwards. Writing prayers for my school's chapel program has also helped me realize how personal and powerful prayer can be. I've loved being a part of that process, putting into words what we as a community and congregation are feeling and lifting up those thoughts to God. This church and being a part of youth group helped me to realize all of these ways to spread the message of God. I'm so grateful for the people who have helped shape my journey. Thank you, Kate, for your advice, your walks and talks, and for always making time to check in. Thank you to my parents and family who have supported me every step of the way and led by example, showing me what a life of faith looks like. Thank you to Pastor John, who's been a steady and kind presence in my life from the very beginning. To my seniors and my juniors, Gwen and Ian, thank you so much for giving me a tight-knit community. I'm so lucky to have you and so sad to leave. Thank you, Kenny, for the way you speak truth with honesty, humor, and heart, and always being there for me. And thank you to PCPC for giving me a foundation of worship and a relationship with God that I will carry in with me into the next chapter of my life in New York. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Andrew Brown. I'm a senior at Plant High School, and I'll be attending the University of Alabama to major in accounting in the fall. Roll Tide. I lived in a military family. I've lived in a lot of different states, and I probably couldn't name them all, but we finally landed in Tampa in 5th grade. My mom thought it would be a great idea that I get out of the house and go to church choir. And let's just say 5th grade me was not a fan. At first, middle school youth group didn't seem like it was going to do me any better. But after I showed up, I could not leave. The people, the family, the connection, it was strong. And as I started looking forward to every Wednesday, I couldn't put it down. 5 years ago on Christmas, my grandmother passed away. She was 71, and she was gone way too soon. She was a big part of my life, one of the foundations for who I am. And after that, my faith took a huge hit, and so did my attendance here at this church. During my freshman year, my mom really pushed me to do confirmation, but she ultimately said it was my choice, and I could do what I want with my faith. After saying yes, that was the best decision I could have possibly made in that moment. Through confirmation, I met people that became the core of why I come here today. Zach, Evan, Rowan, Claire Burrow, and Claire LeBlanc. I love coming to the youth group to see all these people. I'm so proud of them, where they are today as well. Some of my best moments in this faith journey that I'm going on happened in the mountains of Georgia on the Blue Ridge trips. I've gone twice, and each time it was like stepping into something way bigger than myself. I formed a connection as powerful as the ones I had made the year prior, and this place became even more special to me. Those trips opened my eyes to friendships that feel more like family, to a faith that's built in late-night conversations and quiet prayers, and moments of real connection. They show me that God isn't something we talk about. He's someone who moves through us. And when we serve, when we listen, and when we show up for each other. I have a lot of people to thank for getting me here. Firstly, to my mom, Thank you for pushing me towards choir and youth group, even when I did not want to go. Without you, I would never have found this place, these people, and this faith, and I love you endlessly. To Kate and Kenny, thank you for being the best youth leaders in the world. Your energy, your belief in us, your patience, it builds something real and long-lasting, and I couldn't have asked for better mentors. To all the adult leaders from since I was in 6th grade, you guys put up with the craziest stuff from middle schoolers to high schoolers. I barely put up with it myself, and I really appreciate you guys. You make all the difference. To my dad and my stepdad, you guys have made me the man who I am. Your strength and your love are examples that have shaped me in more ways than one. Words can't fully describe how much I appreciate you guys. To all the youth leaders from this year and last year, you make Wednesdays feel like Christmas. I love you guys so much. You're spectacular. And one final shout out to Finley, Hill, and Caton. I love you guys, and Southwind was fun last year. As I look ahead, I'm excited for what comes next, but I'm sad to leave what's here, because what we built, what everyone over here has built, is something so special. Truly, words in a 12-page long speech can't describe how important this has been to me and how excited I am to come back, because I really can't wait. I haven't even left yet. I hope God uses me for something bigger than myself and for something good. Thank you, God bless, and roll tide. Have a good day.
Hello, everyone. I am Rowan Alexander, and I am a senior at the Academy of the Holy Names, and I will be attending the University of Georgia next year. Go Dogs. I have been a member of this church since birth. I was baptized here and grew up going to Sunday school, VBS, and music camp. Some of my fondest memories are from this place. The people that made up my childhood church friend group, Zach Barrera, Evan Yockey, and Claire LeBlanc, are still some of the first faces I look for in a crowd at a church event. In middle school, I started attending youth group. I saw the relationships that the older students had with Kenny, as well as with their faith, and I knew I wanted one of my own. I saw the way Kendra and Cade interacted with Kenny in a way that felt honest and full of love, and I knew I wanted to feel like part of the family that the youth group created. This goal was hard to achieve at the time. I went at irregular intervals, half frightened by the older kids just because I didn't know them and partially busy with life. I made a promise to myself, though, that going into freshman year, I would make youth group one of my top priorities. Starting freshman year, I kept true to my promise. I went to every youth group, along with the fellow regulars of the time of our small freshman class, Andrew, Evan, and Zach. As the year came to a close, Kenny kept bugging me about one more available spot on the Blue Ridge trip for the summer and how I should really think about it. I pushed him off until finally I made a choice to cram into the packed van and drive up 9 hours to the mountains of Georgia. Even though I had been attending youth group, I felt awkward and out of place among the other kids. Not really knowing anyone else, I stuck by the side of Lily DeFranco and, against his wishes, Evan. Evan was the only other freshman on the trip, and I knew Lily to be Claire's friend. We became a pack, and with them by my side, I found it so much easier to break into the big, scary group of upperclassmen. As it turns out, they were not as scary as I thought. They were funny, friendly, and so loving. They welcomed me with open arms, and I came back from Blue Ridge with the infamous post-trip depression, but also feeling like I found out where I belonged. I had made a good group of friends that made me excited to go to youth group every Wednesday. I would walk in the door, and they would greet me with their smiling faces, so excited that I was there and that they could talk to me. The next year, when the summer trips came out, I obviously signed up for Blue Ridge, but also the mission trip. When the time rolled around and we had returned from the fun and exciting trip, I pulled up to Tampa International at the right time of 5 in the morning and got ready to board a plane and fly across the country with 14 other people. Though I didn't know it at the time, this trip strengthened my relationship with my faith as well as with those around me. Spokane and serving those in that community taught me that I feel God most through helping others. That place, the children we served, and the vacation Bible school we hosted demonstrated that no matter the situation, God is always present, full of love for all of his creation. Even if their home life wasn't the best, they showed up each day, gentle, kind, and full of light.
They motivated me to take their innocent outlook of the world, seeing people's souls rather than their situation, and loving everyone just because they could. Over the years, this youth group has given me so much. I would not be the person I am without all the experiences I'm so lucky to have. The people of this place taught me to be who I truly am, someone that is confident, fun, competitive, and most importantly, a child of God. While it may be uncomfortable for me to say these positive attributes about myself, never once has anyone at this church let me question if they were true. These are the qualities I have spent every Wednesday listening to for the past 4 or more years, and these are the things that make me who I am today, standing in front of you. Someone touched by every person that has passed through these walls of the youth room, letting their love and kindness shape my character and my outlook on life and God. While I have said a lot of names in this speech, I am all very much deserving of the shout out. I wanted to thank a couple people in particular. First, I would like to thank Kenny Hubble for being the one who pushed me to go outside of my comfort zone. Without those summer trips, I would not be the person here today. I would not be as confident, caring, and friendly. Without the people that these trips brought me, I would not know the value of a true friend and how to be one to others. Kenny, you have acted as someone to look up to throughout my time here and an example of how to treat others. I will forever appreciate you. Second, I would like to thank Kate Donaldson. She is the person I can go to if I want someone to keep it real with me, be honest, and always giving me the confidence to keep going and be truly me. Finally, I would like to thank Evan Yockey. Although you have heard him mentioned a little bit, Evan is included in every story that fills my childhood memories here at the church, even if his name didn't make the cut. Despite our early connection through other friends, Evan and I were not close until freshman year at Blue Ridge. The friendship I forced on him was finally accepted, and he is now someone I cannot imagine a life without. He never lets me question who I am, sticking by my side even if it kills him. Evan, I'm so grateful you accepted my annoying love for you, and I'm so happy to call you one of my best friends. Thank you, Palma Ceia, for being the place of my childhood. Thank you for giving me the opportunities that molded me into someone ready to take on the next chapter. Thank you for giving me my best friends and the experiences that I will love for a lifetime. I know I can always call this place my home, no matter how far away I may be.